Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are doing a follow along, and this time it's all about scaling and also using HPA, the Horizontal Pod Autoscaler. So just make sure you launch your Micro K8's environment that we've been using this entire time. I'm just going to type clear here. And so what we'll do is look up the scale command Kubernetes. And so I haven't been showing this throughout this, but there is like a kubectl commands reference. Let's see if we can find it here. And so this is really useful if we ever want to just kind of see examples. And so there is a scale command, and then there's an autoscale command. So if we look at scale down below, set a new size for the deployment, replica set, replication controller, or stateful set. So you know when we did it in the last like the last follow with the replica sets that we changed this to replica set or replicas 2 and then did apply. So this basically does the same thing, except it doesn't update this file, of course, our original file, but it will update what's in the cluster. So if we go here, we type in micro K8's kubectl scale, and then we'll go over to our reference here and take a look at how it works. Here we can see -- replicas, so we can just specify the new amount. Replicas, and maybe we would say 4. And then I'm just trying to look. So I'm assuming it's going to be whatever the resource is / the name. So we probably can type deploy or deployment, and then it's going to be Sinatra. And so it says that it has scaled. All right. And so if we go take a look, I don't think you can, yeah, hold on here. We'll go get deploy and see what it says here. So notice it says 2 out of 4 are ready. So it is working on deploying the rest of those. It says 2 out of 4 ready, 4 up to date, 2 available. There we go. Just had to take some time. And then we'll say get pods. Right. And so we see there are 4 pods. And then we can go get SVC. And then from there, we could take a look. Oh, sorry, I wanted to look at the replica set, and there's 4 out of 4. And if maybe we'll just describe it for fun. Replica set. Okay, and you can see some information here that it says replication controller under. So I guess, oh, sorry, replica set controller. Sorry, I almost got confused with replication controller there. So nothing super interesting here, but that's all great. So that's scale. One thing I'd like to show you is what happens when you have an SVC that has multiple pods, just to show you that we have all our endpoints here, okay? Because when we looked at it before, we saw 1, but if we have 4 pods, 1, 2, 3, 4, we should see 4, and we do, which is great. So we looked at scale, and let's take a look at autoscale. So if we go up here. So autoscale is going to create us a horizontal pod autoscaler. So let's type in HPA Kubernetes here and see if we can find an example. It's a resource. Don't see one here. One moment. Let's see if there's one in the walkthrough. So here they have a deployment and a service. So I want to show you the code. Here it is. Okay. So here's an example of a horizontal pod autoscaler. So the idea is you're setting the scale target reference. You're saying you're targeting the deployment for it. You're setting the min replicas, the max replicas, and then you can say, all right, you should scale up if the utilization exceeds whatever it is beyond 50, right? And so that's an example there. I thought I had more like a streamlined example here. I'm just going to go double check my other computer to see what I have. And I didn't save it, but I know it's generally this, okay? So this is something we can write out, but there's an easier way, which is using the autoscale. It's basically going to just create this file here. So what we'll do is do a kubectl autoscale. So we'll go back over here. And actually, we didn't scale down our pod. So what we'll do is go back to our scale that we did here a moment ago. And I want to just put this to 1, okay? And then we'll go and make sure that it's scaled down. So we'll say describe deployment, describe deployment Sinatra. Or I guess we'll just do get because it's a bit easier to see that. Okay, so we have 1 and 1. So now let's say we wanted to set up autoscale. So that's going to be micro K8s, cube CTL, autoscale. And then we'll need to figure out all the other options here. So if we scroll up, it probably shows us a very simple example. Yeah, the name, right? What do we want to autoscale? So we'll say deployment, replica, or sorry, Sinatra. And then here, we'll base it off the CPU percent. And then we can set our min and our max, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to 2 so that it'll automatically scale up to 2 because it'll expect there to be at least 2. And we'll hit enter. And notice that it created an autoscaler. So what we can do is type in micro K8s, cube CTL, HPA for horizontal pod autoscaler. Or maybe get in front of it first. And so here it says unknown targets because it's still trying to figure out the targets, I suppose. 2 mins, max pods, replicas. We can see that it is going to the right place. Okay, if we know that this is working, we can just go get pods and see how many pods are running. So notice there are 2 pods. I'm not sure why the target is unknown. I don't know if we have to have something additionally installed for it to know, or it needs to collect more information over a period of time, but we can see that this works. So it's as simple as that. If we were to try to flood traffic towards those containers, or pods, I should say, then it should spin up another one. We're not going to do that because it is a bit complex to do that, and it's kind of out of scope here. And so what we'll do is just get rid of this HPA that we created here. Actually, before we do that, I just want to show you the edit command, which we haven't really been using much. So if we do edit HPA Sinatra, this will open in a local editor. So it's, I think, using Vim. Is this Vim? Yeah, it's Vim. And it looks very similar to our definition file, but this is actually basically the definition file and active data here. So you're going to see additional information here. And so you can actually edit this, I could change the value here, maybe change the minimum to 3. And I think that it will take effect, right? So I edited it. And if I go HPA, notice that the min pods is now 3. So generally you don't need to edit things on the fly like that, but it is possible for you to do that. If I go over back to our pods, get pods, we should see that there is now 3 running. So what we'll do is go ahead and delete HPA Sinatra. Okay, and then it should go back to the right amount of pods. Let's see if it'll actually do that. I wonder if we have to scale it down. Okay, and I think the reason why is because if we go to our deployment and we describe it, again, we only have 1, so we don't have to specify the name. I think it has like a min and a max in here. 3 desired, 3 updated, 3 total, 3 available. Maybe because we scaled it to 3 from before. I can't remember why. So what I'm going to do here is just scale it back down to 1. So we'll type in scale. Deploy / Sinatra, and we'll just say replicas equals 1, and then we'll go back to our pods, and now we only have 1 pod. So hopefully that gives you a clear idea how horizontal pod autoscalers work. They can get quite complex because there is more logic that can be implemented with auto pod scalers. I don't know if we'll do a vertical pod scaler. I'm not sure if that's really that necessary. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, you can see there's a lot more fancier rules that you can implement for horizontal pod scaling. But yeah, there you go.